And chapter 4 is one of my favorites in this class because it has to do with budgeting, which is, I think, one of the most important things you'll walk away from in this course. Some of you may already be budgeting a little bit if you have jobs and have to kind of spend your money wisely. Some of you have never done any of that. I know a lot of you are like, I don't care about that. I want to learn how to do stocks and invest my money. And that's great in something useful. But I also think that investing, you do want to start as early as possible, but most of you won't be able to start really investing until you have a career. And maybe some of you I know already have, and that's awesome. Your parents got you off to a great start. That is not the case for everybody. I'm aware of that. What, buddy? My box itchy. Okay. So let's see. Like I said, you guys did your test yesterday. Thank you. I'm distracted. Oh, something I never talked about when I meant to, and it's not really that important, but your attendance question last week on superpowers, I almost made it multiple choice because I just thought multiple choice is easier. But I would have really limited your responses because I was quite impressed with some of the responses I got. Obviously doesn't have anything to do with this class. Most people said like teleport or travel, so things like that. Someone said like the ability to always make somebody happy, which is awesome. I don't know if that's what my superpower would be if I could choose one, but it's fun to read. So if anyone has any cool, fun questions they can think of for tomorrow, you can let me know. I was going to make a survey because there's a few things I want to follow up on in the class. But in your access class tomorrow, you already have to do a school survey. So I didn't really want to make you do 2 surveys in one day. So that's where we're at on that. Stop. Cool. Okay. Let's see. So the first kind of question getting us started in chapter 4, what's the difference, and I'm going to try to type it, getting around him, between wants and needs? And then give examples of each. What's an example of a want? What's an example of a need? Okay. So want is something that you want in the moment. The need is something to survive. Need is a necessity. Want is a desire. Wants are things that are not necessary in your everyday life. Food is a need. A new electronic is a want. Agreed.
Mommy.
What, buddy?
Why do you have those pages?
What ones?
These ones.
Because that's my book for my class. I'm just looking ahead at what we're going to do today. Okay. And then, sorry. I had a few other questions. Why is it important to compare options before buying things? So kind of that idea of comparison shopping that we were talking about last chapter that was on your test, I think, yesterday. Why is it important to compare options before buying? I didn't type it, I'm sorry if you're a visual person. Why is it important to compare options before buying? I I need my water. You want to go get me my water? All right, thank you for you guys that are responding. There are quite a few answers, but mostly are the same thing. To get the best deal, the best quality for the cheapest, the value you can get of a product based on the price. Yeah, and you'll find out if you really need the product. Okay, so let me open our slideshow for chapter 4. I know I posted it in Classroom already. Sorry. I didn't screen share it first and then it like took over my screen. Okay, so chapter 4, here we go. Wherever you are taking notes, again, notes have to be your own. Most of you did much better at that last chapter. And thank you. So chapter 4 is financial decisions and planning. So we're going to talk about resources and choices today. Next week, we'll do basics of budgeting and personal financial planning, as well as a few other things. Okay, so we're going to describe needs and wants and explain how financial resources help fulfill needs and wants, prepare a personal cash flow statement and a personal net worth statement, and apply a decision-making process to personal financial choices. So in this picture, this is a picture from your book. What basic needs are represented in this photo? What are the wants represented in this photo? Okay, so food is a need. So, and this could be kind of, you could see it either way. You could see popcorn, not necessarily a food you have to have, but food in general is a need. TV is a want. Clothing and shelter. Some more wants are the books, the computer, the TV. So the definition we are going to be using for needs and wants. Needs are things needed for survival, such as food, water, clothing, shelter, and medical care. And then wants are things people desire for reasons beyond survival and basic comfort. What?
Can I get my foot?
That's stinky. So if you buy everything you want, you're not going to have enough money to buy what you need. Wants, we will see, or may know, continue to grow and are endless. Question, what do you guys think? Your cell phone, is that a need or a want? I mean, by definition, it's a want, but do you feel like you need it for survival? Do you guys feel like your life would be incomplete without it? No? Yeah. So the way we depend on them has very much changed over the years. I am very much dependent on my phone, but when I was in high school, cell phones, kind of aging myself here, were just starting to come out. Yes, I got a cell phone in high school, but they were quite pricey. Not everybody had them, and they were just becoming a thing. My first cell phone, I had like a clear case so you could see when it lit up, and it had like the big antenna. They were pretty cool back in the day. And they were just for phone calls, really, and texting a little bit. Okay, so why can't you buy everything you need? Because your financial resources are limited. You must make choices. So the decision-making process, you should consider the trade-off, giving up one option in exchange for another, versus the opportunity cost, the value of your next best option. What are you giving up? You should not consider sunk costs, the costs that have already been incurred and are not recoverable. So also known as, you do not make decisions about your future based on how you've spent money or time in the past. Those are sunk, they're already gone, you're not getting them back. Okay, so these next slides, you don't really need to write anything down. We're going to just kind of discuss them and going to look for more feedback. I think actually there's one more you have to write down. Sorry, not this one necessarily. People must make choices to satisfy their wants and needs given their limited resources. So as I'm not a Harry Potter fan. Is it Professor Dumbledore said to Harry Potter, "It is our choices, Harry, that show what we truly are far more than our abilities." One accepts the fact that they choose. They can lose the victim mentality, although some things do happen to them. By and large, their lives are a result of the choices and how they choose to react to what happened. So your choices affect a lot of things. And then we're going to talk about financial choices. So trade-offs are all the alternatives to what we could have given up whenever we choose one course of action over another. The most desirable alternative given up as a result of a decision is known as the opportunity cost. It is what is lost due to a choice you made. So, for example, you guys may go through this somewhat frequently. What are your options for Friday night? You don't necessarily need to write anything down, but kind of in general, I know the most common example I use here that I think is applicable is, do you stay up late doing homework or do you go to sleep? Do you wake up early so that you can get your homework done when you have a deadline, or do you go to sleep? I know a lot of students kind of weigh that option regularly. I do it myself as an adult. Like, I could go grade these papers. I could stay up watching this show, but I know I'm going to be tired in the morning. So do I go to sleep? But it's a really good show. Do I watch it? Those are your trade-offs. Again, the most desirable alternative given up as a result is the opportunity cost. So you should weigh all the benefits and costs of your decisions. To consider the full cost of any decision, you must consider both the explicit cost and the implicit cost. So the total cost is explicit plus implicit. But this cartoon here, I hope you appreciate, each walk cost me $175 of my billable time. So whatever his job is, he could charge somebody $175 for that time. And the dog says, "Well, I hope you appreciate that I'm your only friend." Something to think about. And that kind of other picture there, time and money balance out. Interpret that how you choose. Oh, see, I knew it was in here. Sorry. Karen needs to decide whether to sleep in late or wake up early to study for a test. What do you guys normally do? Do you get the extra sleep or do you get your studying in? Most people are saying sleep. Has that changed? This is just a curiosity question. Has that changed because of online schooling? Do you feel like you don't have to study as much? It's easier? And I feel like I grade a little bit easier, tests are a little bit easier. At least for my class, they're multiple choice where before it would have free response. Now it's all open notes in this class. And I know some classes are very different. Like AP classes are still very rigorous. And I'm not saying this one isn't, but at the same time, you're going to be able to look stuff up in life in most scenarios. So I kind of feel like that's okay. I did let notes happen before, but people had to make a page of notes. Now you don't have to prepare ahead of time. You can just look them up, and tests aren't necessarily timed. Yes, there's a deadline, but if it takes you 30 minutes or an hour and a half, I don't know when I do it on a Google form. So it's just my thoughts on it. All right. So here's another scenario. You have ordered the special dessert on the menu, the princess cake served flambe a la mode. It costs $25, but will be well worth it to have a piece of your favorite Swedish cake served with ice cream and set on fire. When it comes, it is so huge that it will be difficult for you to eat it all. The only alternative is it would go to waste because of the fire and the fact that your dining partner is lactose intolerant, so they can't share it with you. Would you eat it all? So in this case, do you let it go to waste or would you eat the whole thing? It says it's not going to be good if you take it home. So I agree. I personally would probably eat the whole thing. One, I'm a big dessert person. But we've all probably had that time where like we eat too much and you're overly full that it is uncomfortable. But that was a choice we made, and an opportunity cost, the trade-off. All right, so next scenario. You and your friend buy tickets to a concert of a new but widely acclaimed artist. The tickets were $150 each, and you had to drive 100 miles to get to the concert. After 15 minutes of listening, you realize the music is terrible. Do you stay there or do you leave? So a lot of you are saying you'd stay. A few people leaves. Might be something else to do there anyways. Not my favorite example, but that's okay. You've been dating a guy for 2 years. When he asks you to move in with him, you move in. After living together for 10 more years and relative contentment, you feel he isn't the one, but you're very content and you've been together for 12 years. He asks you to marry him. You're now 35 years old. Should you marry him? A lot of quick no's. Not if you're not happy, you don't want to be bored, you have a lot of life left to live. All right, what about this one? Should you switch your major from engineering to something else and stay in the school longer to finish a new degree program? So the scenario, you're in college and have invested the first 2 years and about $50,000 into majoring in engineering. In your junior year, you realize you're not enjoying your classes, but it's nice to see how proud your dad is of you. So do you stick to engineering, or do you switch to something else to stay in school longer, spend more money to get a new degree? So some mixed opinions here. People say it depends and you need more information. Yeah, and I think it might depend on what you think you want to do. Some things you can do with different degrees. So it does depend. Again, everyone makes their own decisions. What about this one? Suppose you pre-ordered non-refundable $200 ticket to see the Bulls play. However, on the night of the game, you realize you don't feel well and there's a blizzard raging outside, which will make driving hazardous. You would prefer to stay at home and comfortably watch the game on TV, but you promised your friends you'd meet them there. The ticket was very expensive and hard to get. So should you drive to the game or stay home and waste the $200 ticket? So a lot of mixed results. You go, I'm not wasting $200. Several people said they're staying home. Yeah, if you spent that kind of money. Driving in snow, I've done it once and it was quite terrible. I get a lot of anxiety like that anyways. But I'm assuming this person lives in Chicago and maybe they're used to it. I don't know. There's a lot of unknowns there. Okay, I skipped that last one because that was enough. I want to try to get us out of here on time and realize I've talked a lot today. So, you don't necessarily need to write this down. So sunk cost, again, that's something we've already talked about. I really do like this clip though. It's pretty short. Give me 1 second.
Hey.
Oh, nothing for me. I'm going to Atomic Sub later.
Atomic Sub? Why are you eating there?
I get a card and they stamp it every time I buy a sub. 24 stamps and I become a submarine captain.
What does that mean?
Free sub?
Hey, neighbor.
Are you reading my VCR manual?
Well, we can't all be reading the classics, Professor Eyebrow.
Oh, I can't believe it. I'd lost my Atomic Sub card. Oh, no. I bet I wrote that fake number on the back of it when I gave it to Denim Best.
So?
I've eaten 23 bad subs. I just need one more. It's like a long, bad movie, but you want to see the end of it?
No, you walk out.
All right, then it's like a boring book, but you gotta finish it.
No, you wait for the movie.
I want that free sub.
All right, I found that one funny. And I'm not a big Seinfeld fan anyways, but I personally would finish the movie and or finish the book because that's how I am, but I know not everybody feels that same way. So here it says Seinfeld knows about sunk cost. He's like, nope, who cares how much time I've wasted? It's not worth any more of my time. Elaine doesn't feel the same way. So based on your book, this is how you can make good financial decisions, the 6-step process. So define the problem or the goal. So a problem you want to solve or a goal you want to achieve. Look for ways. So gather information. Once you know what it is, conduct research, find out what you need to do. It could be you need a new laptop. That's the problem. Gather information. Well, you know you need, the solution would be to buy a new laptop. So then you compare your choices. what laptops are out there, what one meets your need. Again, you're going to have some opportunity costs there in mind and the trade-off. What are you giving up? Oops, sorry. You make a decision. Okay, you decide what laptop you want. You take action. You go to the store and you buy it, or you order it online, and then you reevaluate your choice. Did you make the right choice? Are you happy with your purchase? Do you have that buyer's remorse? What kind of, if you're not happy, what persuaded you or convinced you to get this one? So just keep that in mind. It's always good to reevaluate your choice. Are you happy with it? And you might not be able to do anything about it. You might not be able to return your laptop or whatever it is in this situation, but it's something to consider for the future so you don't make that same bad decision again, which may be a bad decision for you. Which is why it's important to compare your options before buying, because you want to make sure you're making the best choice and getting the best value for your money. All right, so how are income and wealth measured? So cash inflows are income from your job, investment, and other sources, the cash or the money coming in. Cash outflows are expenses or items for which you must spend money. Most people have regular expenses that are on a regular basis, like monthly bills. And then some things are not regular or happen unexpectedly, like if your car needs to be fixed, you have to take your animal to the vet, things like that. But those are all expenses. Savings will increase your wealth. You want your cash inflows to be more than your cash outflows so that you can save. You want more money coming in than you're spending. If you're making $500 a month, hopefully you're spending less than $500 every month so you can save some. So this is a personal cash flow statement. You don't need to write this down, but it's Andrea McCall. So her cash inflows, she works part-time, she gets allowance, she gets lunch money, and her savings account gets interest. So adding all that up, she gets $222 a month coming in. Her outflows, so she's budgeted, plans to spend $20 a month on gifts, then clothes and shoes. She has to pay her parents back for a loan, her lunches, and other stuff is $200. So $222 coming in, $200 going out. So her net cash flow is $22. That's how much extra she has left over every month. Or in this month, I should say. It may vary. All right, just a couple more slides. So your personal net worth statement shows your assets, money, and items of value that you own.
Let me find my white one.
In just a minute.
I only have found my red one.
Okay. The value should be equal to the money you would get if you sold it. So thinking about how much money something is worth, what could you sell it for? Assets that grow in value are said to appreciate. Assets that decrease in value over time are said to depreciate. Liabilities are debts that you owe. So things that appreciate, some old cars go up over time, not new cars these days usually. Savings bonds, electronics are going to depreciate. If you go buy a brand new phone today and then go to try to sell it tomorrow, it's going to be worth a lot less. Same thing with a brand new car. The difference there between your assets and liabilities is your net worth. So you subtract the assets, money and items of value that you own, and debts from you owe get subtracted from that. And this last slide here will show you an example. So this is the net worth statement. So we looked at a cash flow statement, money coming in and out. So this is how much Jerry Lopez, his net worth. So he's got money in his checking and savings account. or he's got cash, sorry, he's got a savings account, savings bond, a baseball card collection, so he could go sell that for $100, a computer, iPod, and games, and his car is currently worth $3,000. So his total assets are $4,652.56. His liabilities, though, his car loan is $1,100. So he still is making payments on that car. And he has just over $200 in credit card debt. So his net worth is this 4,652 minus this 1,300 and change. So his net worth is $3,351.58. Questions on that? Yep. Okay. Thought so. So that is our last slide for today. I closed that window on accident. That's okay.